You got?
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken. In this episode, we're going to talk about the two bounty hunters that we first spotted in The Empire Strikes Back. We're talking about LOM and Zuckuss. You know them. We love them. Buckle up. We're ready to get ready. Oh, while we get ready for the show, my goodness, the words are tough sometimes.
Yes.
You have intro music for us?
Yeah, in fact, I have world premiere intro music for you. So be prepared. This has never been heard anywhere else publicly. So let's see if I can make some magic happen.
All right. Sounds great.
Todd and Ken, the legends rise through hyperspace with burning skies. Bounty hunting, stars align. Across the galaxy, it's time to shine. George Lucas dreamt it, we live it loud. Blue milk's flowing, we're starbound proud. Zuckuss and LOM, they're on the run. Todd and Ken's adventure has just begun. Claps and stops, the rhythm's fire. Through cosmic trails we climb up higher. Blasters blazing, we chase the sun. The hunt ain't over till the job is done. George Lucas dreamt it, we live it loud. Blue milk's flowing, we're starbound proud. Zuckuss and LOM, they're on the run. Todd and Ken's adventure has just begun. From cantinas to the void, every tale we've deployed. Warrior hearts, we're unbroken in the stars. Our creed is spoken. George Lucas dreamt it, we live it loud. Blue milk's flowing, we're starbound proud. Zuckuss and LOM, they're on the run. Todd and Ken's adventure has just begun. Kiwahela.
I don't know what that thing at the end means, but it's pretty funny.
I feel like it was a trailer for a movie or something. I don't know. Like, I can't wait to go see this next year. So
Coming to your galaxy in 2026.
I'm Todd, and you're Ken, and that's our intro for this episode. It's fantastic.
If I could only figure out how to find the time to put video to some of these little songs.
That it's going to be a lot of time, but
Yeah.
it'll definitely be worth it when we get there.
And I'll share a copy of the song file for you. So if you want to, listen to it on your way to work and stuff, you can.
That would be great. Yeah, you got to send that to me.
Yeah, I got a handful of other ones that I think you'll laugh too. But that was the one I chose for tonight.
I'll just play that at work all day and drive everybody crazy.
I've got one that even has a Bollywood theme to it, a Bollywood sound.
That's just great. So we can't start an episode without talking about our real world adventures and stuff that we collected. What do you got for us this month?
So the only real world adventures that I've had recently, since the last time that we recorded, is I got to put some time into my next custom Mando kit. In fact, I'll grab the helmet from behind me if I don't knock everything else down.
Oh yeah, this is this amazing color.
Yeah, so this has got some color change paint on it.
Right.
So depending on the angle and stuff, it'll go from purple to blue to green. and I just have the visor kind of just held in there for now. And I
Very
still
nice.
haven't decided the kind of accents that I want to have on this bad boy, but that's what I've done in the real world. My Star Wars adventures. How about yours?
So, for a month that I had a week off for vacation, I did very little actual Star Wars costuming stuff. It was hectic. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Logan was away for a week in Florida, and that was a little hectic. And then I took vacation, and we upended the entire house. So, as far as actually costuming stuff, I got very little done. Very little at all.
And Logan came back with awards, right? Am I hearing that right?
He did. He went down to Mu Alpha Theta, which was in Orlando. They spent 2 days in Universal, which I was kind of sad about. I was hoping that he could go to Disney, but at least he didn't get there before I did, But yeah, he did good. He got 2 things that he actually got noted for. One was a more personal one, and he got 2 of the 4 competitions that he was in. He got 6th place, and they give awards all the way down to 15th place because there's like 600 kids that are involved in this.
Jeez, that's incredible.
Yeah, he got 6th place in the one, and then another one he actually got 16th place, so he missed the award by 1. But good for him. I mean, Mu Alpha Theta is, if you don't know, which most people don't because I only learned about it this year, is calculus, pre-calculus, and geometry. And then there's a 4th section, which is statistics. And I think that's that it doesn't have a name because statistics is kind of boring unless you're really into that.
Okay. I think you're 100% right on that one.
Look, I took statistics in high school. I lasted 3 weeks and then I was done with it. So I couldn't stand it anymore. It's my own personal feeling. I just don't like statistics at all. And not that it was hard. It was like well below my threshold of what I was learning. So it was more of a disappointing class. But he did really good. And then his personal award that he got is he took a mental math challenge, which he got somewhere in the middle of the pack. But mental math, of course, is you're not allowed to have pen and paper. So everything has to happen in your head. He actually scored 1 more point than his soon-to-be calculus teacher.
That's wildly impressive, actually.
So we told him when he goes into his first day of calculus that he should just go and sit at his teacher's desk and just introduce himself as the teacher and see what the teacher does.
That's awesome. Congratulations to that guy. Not the teacher, to your son.
Well, hey, they both did good as far as I'm concerned, but it was like a technicality because I guess you get like 3 points or 5 points for a correct answer in the challenge, and then you get 1 point for not answering, and 0 points for a wrong answer. And he won on the fact that I can't think of it. If it's either he answered and got it wrong, or he didn't answer the question and his teacher did, and he got 1 more point. So it's not like he got more questions right. He just won on the technicality that he didn't click the button.
Well, mathematically speaking, one is more than the other. So
a win's a win.
Yeah, you bet. Unfortunately, while I was working on my costume, I experienced a little bit of a casualty. So most of my stuff is stored in a storage unit because I just don't have a workshop space here at home.
Okay.
And my gauntlets got warped from the heat. So I've got to come up. I got to get a new, because they're all 3D printed.
Yeah.
They were 3D printed, are 3D printed, and I've got to get a new set of those.
Okay.
So I got to find either somewhere online that I can buy them, or someone who can help me print out a pair.
I'm sure there's somebody that can help you out. I haven't tried to print a gauntlets out. Though my printer would probably run it. Though I just need the time to actually do the thing.
Yeah, that's the big piece for a lot of folks lately.
Yeah, I know. Stu, that's part of the guild. Do you know Stu?
Is he the gentleman with glasses that usually prints out a whole bunch of stuff?
Yep. He said he does a lot of stuff for the guild for little excess cost or no excess cost or whatever. So, I mean, you might want to message him or something, see if maybe
he to check out. I'm not sure if we're connected, but I'll definitely take that under advisement. At least it's a specific person to go to, rather than I think I know a guy.
Right.
That'll be nice.
I mean, he does a lot. I mean, I'm sure he's got like a whole printer farm.
Because he does like the little busts and the tchotchke things and
tons of stuff. Well, he does weapons and helmets, and he actually started doing 40K stuff. So,
oh wow!
I was supposed to hit him up for a 40K helmet, but I never did, because he was at the Lehigh Valley Comic-Con in April, and he had a bunch of stuff and sold them all out. So,
wow, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he did really well. I know that. So.
And speaking of those things, did you add anything to your collection since we last got together?
So, first things first, I got a new tattoo, and I know it's going to be kind of crappy because it's covered. But it is the red and black Mandalorian skull. I just got it yesterday. And then my Mando name in Mando over the top.
That's awesome.
Like I said, it's a little smudgy because I got the tape over it and the red's still coming out of it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's not blood. YouTube, Facebook, whatever. It's not blood. It's okay.
Yeah. It's ink. I promise.
It's ink. And then the other thing that I got is one of the guys that I work with. He collects a lot of Lego stuff and stuff like that. So I actually picked up the First Order transport. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the screen here.
Oh, that's wild. That's great looking.
Now I've already found like 8 different things that are wrong with it. It was already built, but I got it for $20, and all the minifigures are in it. So,
oh, that's cool.
So I could
there's your $20 right there.
Right, I could probably sell the minifigures for $20 if I really wanted to, or just take the whole thing apart and sell the loose Legos for close to $20.
Yeah.
So, but he gave me the book and everything, $20. I'm like, okay, I couldn't say no.
That's cool.
So that's about my Star Wars additions for the month. But one being big and small in price, and the other one being small and big in price.
Well, and one's not gonna, disappear anytime soon.
No. Yeah, I sent a picture of it to my aunt, and she's like, "Oh, was it wash off in 3 hours?" And I'm like, "It better not."
Yeah, he was doing it with those Crayola skin safe markers.
Right. Washables.
Cool.
Just so you know, washable markers are not actually that washable. Just as a side note, we found that out the hard way.
Did the kids write in the carpet or something?
No, actually, when the kids were little, my wife used to do all kinds of arts and crafts because she worked in the evenings and she stayed home with the kids. Well, she decided that the one day they were drawing stuff with markers, and she decided to draw on them, and then they let them draw on her. Well, she went to work that night with marker all over her face that didn't wash off for like 2 days. So
well, at least it wasn't like she fell asleep on a couch at a fraternity party and they wrote swear words on her or something.
No. Oh, and the other thing is, I'm going to throw this one out here just because I can. Coca-Cola actually has Star Wars bottles right now. So if you don't have Star Wars bottles from Coca-Cola, I had to buy
you
them.
really a fan?
Right. I mean, the bad part is I still kept they were buy one, get one free at the buy one get one for $1 at the grocery store, so I bought two, and I kept the old one yet because I got the Mandalorian and Boba Fett. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm not going to show it to you because I probably should wash it out first. But it's only a couple days old. It's not weird.
So I've added some, in addition to the helmet that I worked on, you can see the Stranger helmet up above.
I see that. That's very cool.
That's the Black Series one. I picked that up from GameStop, and then I also picked up this.
Oh, nice.
This is my only Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet. So I was pretty excited to find this. And I also managed to get a handful of discounted trade paperbacks. And oddly enough, one of the ones that I picked up was the Bounty Hunters. And you can see our buddies right on the cover there. You know, so
that's awesome.
Zuckuss, Forlom, and Valance. So I thought it was pretty, for me, it was pretty funny that I knew we were going to be recording this week, and that's one of the issues that I managed to find for like $6 or something at Books A Million.
The Force was leading you to it.
I guess so. That is for sure.
So very cool.
Yeah.
That's a
we
good
kind of get, it's like, speaking of the Force literally and figuratively guided us right into the main topic of our conversation tonight, which are these two bounty hunters,
right?
You know, and who managed to be on screen in the Empire Strikes Back for less than a minute, and the galaxy's never been the same.
And we're getting good at that. We're just gonna highlight every bounty hunter that's only got a few seconds of screen time, until we get just longer and longer screen time. So so you know, like Boba Fett now and Mando, you guys got a long time till we get to you guys.
Yeah, and it'll give us the opportunity to have some of those episodes that are split up into chunks, because we could, you know, even like Din Djarin, and we could spend probably 3 hours just talking, you know, about his story. So, and his story is not even done yet.
I was gonna say, like, we could probably do a episode by episode review if we really wanted to do that, but we'll see how it goes in the future at this point.
Well, I mean, a lot of the cool kids will do the rewatch, so they're right. It's almost like Mystery Science Theater 3000, or, you know, commentary. They'll watch the video and chat through it at the same time. So if we want to be like the cool kids on YouTube, maybe we can do a couple episodes like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very cool. All right.
So what was it about these two bounty hunters? Like I said, we saw them very briefly. What was it that made you want to have an entire episode about them?
So, okay. So there's the obviously the scene that we're talking about in The Empire Strikes Back. So when, you know, the whole Battle of Hoth is over and it's this climactic and everybody's running away or, you know, just destroying the bases, we see these bounty hunters up on the upper platform of the Star Destroyer, and Darth Vader's giving him them the you know, the ultimate deal here. And, you know, I really thought that this was going to be like this huge team of bounty hunters. And I remember I was 11 or something like that when The Empire Strikes Back came. Well, actually, I think I was 9. When The Empire Strikes Back came out. Whoa, words are hard today. I don't know what's going on.
It happens with age.
Yeah, right. I just got a year older. Everything's changing. So when I saw this for the first time, I thought this was going to be this huge bounty hunter team, and they were going to all work together and coordinate, and it was going to be like, you know, what's going on? But really what I found out in the end was it was like Darth Vader was outsourcing his means of capturing the Millennium Falcon and basically created the first amazing race. Which of course we know who won that in the end. I don't want to give a spoiler alert in case you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, spoiler alert for this, what is it, 45-year-old movie?
Yeah,
Because it came out in May of 1980.
Yeah.
So
If you haven't seen it yet, go out, stop the video here, go watch it, and you'll understand what we're talking about.
Well, how about this? We won't watch the whole movie, but you want to check out that scene?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's see if I did this right. Let's see what we can do here. Hold on one second, and then we'll just go ahead and play this thing.
All right.
Bounty hunters. We don't need that scum.
Yes, sir.
Those rebels won't escape us.
Sir, we have a priority signal from the Star Destroyer Avenger.
Right. There will be a substantial reward for the one who finds the Millennium Falcon. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegrations.
As you wish. Lord Vader. My lord, we have them.
I mean, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
I thought this was going to be this amazing team going after the Millennium Falcon. I'm like, our heroes are screwed. They're in trouble because these guys look tough. Like, not only do they have like this galaxy-spanning empire, now they have this team up, you know.
And they've got to be tough because some of them are wearing pieces of Empire gear. I can't imagine that they had gone to some Empire outlet to get the pieces and parts. They probably stole them off some dead Imperial.
Yeah, I would think so. Which is surprising that they're on an Imperial ship wearing procured Imperial armor. Liberated. I don't think that's what we do here.
Well, I mean, you heard them. We don't need their scum, but yeah, they were there, and that whole clip, including the transition from Yoda on Dagobah to the very end, was less than a minute.
Yeah,
it was less than 60 seconds, and these two characters have been in our lives for 45 years.
Yeah.
So which of these two characters, these two bounty hunters, do you want to chat about first? We've got LOM and Zuckuss.
Well, I figured we'd start with LOM. He's kind of the easier one to process his existence because he is the droid. He, of course, when I was a little kid, he was LOM. He's actually 4 LOM, just like C3PO. But LOM kind of rolls off the tongue a little easier. He was actually just a protocol droid. Worked on a luxury liner, and through logic glitches and software corruption, it actually allowed his droid brain to override his programming. It led him to becoming a thief and a pirate, and then of course eventually he became a bounty hunter. A lot of his lore from when he became a bounty hunter till he met Zuckuss is very, very shadowy. Like I don't think there was really a lot of information there. But of course then he met up with Zuckuss. I mean, and what can you tell us about Zuckuss?
Well, Zuckuss is the shorter, rounder one of the two. They're like the Laurel and Hardy of the bounty hunters. You got LOM, who's got the torso and legs of C3PO. Like you said, he's a protocol droid, and he has an insectoid kind of head. Well, Zuckuss is an insectoid. So he's also got a bulbous head with the two big sets of compound eyes, and his species is called the Gand, Gand. And the Gand as a species, they've got this chitinous exoskeleton, so this really hard, rigid outside protect. We have skin. They've got this chitin that covers their body and muscles and everything. That's super strong. In fact, it's so hard and so durable that they've been known to be able to punch through different kinds of armor, including stormtrooper armor.
Right.
You know, they've got those big compound eyes on the top of their head that helps them see in all different directions and in various spectrums like infrared and ultraviolet and all that kind of stuff. And their ear holes are actually on the back of their heads. And you notice that Zuckuss had a respirator.
Correct.
Because on his planet of Gand, which was out close to the outer rim, their atmosphere is mostly ammonia. So if Zuckuss tried to breathe on an oxygen-rich planet, he would end up dying. And when you look at Zuckuss and 4-LOM together, both of their heads do have that insectoid kind of look, the big bulbous eyes and like a rebreather or whatever, even though 4-LOM is in fact a robot.
Right. I always wondered, and this is a personal thing here, but I always wondered if he changed his head up 4-LOM, or if he had either had his head changed or changed it up so that he looked more like Zuckuss.
Yeah, I wonder, because that's 4-LOM isn't the only protocol type droid that we've seen with a different shaped head. There was the droid that was on either the first or second season of Mando. There was what was the other shiny droid? It might have been on Tatooine, where he was more silver, where C-3PO was gold, and he had more of a angled snout or nose. So the protocol droids throughout Star Wars history have had different shaped heads. So to your point, I wonder if he rearranged his own head.
Well, because we saw the one in, what was it, Jabba's palace, that almost had like the human, almost cartoony human face.
Yeah. Well, was he in the palace or was he in the Jawa sandcrawler?
Oh, he might have been the sandcrawler.
You know, when C-3PO was looking through the piles of stuff, looking for R2-D2, or was just going through the piles of stuff and found R2-D2 in there or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I just remembered all the droid pieces, and I was thinking that the basement level.
Yeah, there may have been one there as well. And the other thing that's very, very interesting about the Gand, in addition to their physicality and so on, they're force sensitive. And when I say they're force sensitive, I'm talking about the entire species. So it's not just, like with other alien species where it's every so often someone's, highly attuned to the force. No, the Gand are, and some of them actually go through this special rite of passage to learn how to use the force in a special way. And they become what their society calls findsmen. They have the ability to communicate telepathically and use the force to pursue other people, and that was ended up being a perfect thing for Zuckuss, who ended up becoming a bounty hunter and getting in with some of these rough crowds as he traveled the galaxy, trying to earn some money.
Yeah, and he wasn't just some bounty hunter scum. He was actually pretty sought after as a bounty hunter. He worked for, all the reputable bounty hunting organizations.
There is such a thing.
All the big ones, the actual bounty hunting guild. He worked for the Hutts. He worked for Tagco. And that's something that's obviously in the books, not in the movie. And even with the rebels from time to time, even before the time where he's standing on the Imperial Star Destroyer. So they kind of bounced back and forth a couple times. And he's even been at odds against some of those hunters like Bosk and Dengar. And of course, we're going to get into them in another episode, I'm sure. So, he's done a lot of, he's been very sought after as a bounty hunter, probably almost as respectable in the bounty hunting field as someone like Boba Fett or Bosk.
Yeah, and that force sensitivity, that connection kind of probably makes him, that much more valuable. And I don't know if it's one of those things that he puts on his bounty hunting resume.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think that would be a problem if he's working for the Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, he's force sensitive, but I guess the whole race is so, or most of the race is so. I guess, I mean, the Empire has tried to eliminate whole races for less so, but
I guess one of the things that benefited their planet is it's not really a resource rich planet, so it's not one of the ones that it's not like Gorman or Gore where the Empire wanted Calcite.
Right. That's very true. So that probably did save them a lot. In fact, one of these, through working for Jabba specifically, is how LOM and Zuckuss kind of got paired up. Once they did, it was like they were like brothers. Weird to say, out of a force sensitive insectoid humanoid, because I mean we really don't know what's under all those clothing, but we'll say humanoid, and a droid that overrun his own programming. They made an interesting team up. So, and they really actually bonded. So, but I mean, we've seen that plenty of times in Star Wars where somebody bonds with a droid. So,
yeah,
it's not an unusual thing. So, I was saying a little bit how they worked for both the Republic and they worked for the Rebels, or the Rebels and the Empire. And they had actually, Zuckuss had been injured at one point, and for LOM actually took Zuckuss to the Rebels for him to be healed. And then, of course, they did a lot of work for the Rebels, a couple jobs for the Rebels. But in this turn of events, they actually ended up on the being called by the Empire, with being called by Darth Vader, and not knowing initially what they were being called for. And then when they, of course, landed on the Star Destroyer, they had the fateful meeting and they knew they needed to go after the Millennium Falcon. Well, Zuckuss, LOM, as a team, decided the best way to get to Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon would be to infiltrate the Rebels again, but in a nefarious way. Unlucky for them, they jumped from the name of the ship's dropping me, but from the Star Destroyer, they jumped into the middle of a firefight with the Rebels and the Imperials, and ended up saving some of the Rebels from the Imperials. And I'll get into that a little bit later because I wanted to talk about the ship. But they got into a big scuffle in there and helped the Rebels get away from the Empire. Of course, this was part of the ruse so they could get to the rendezvous point so they could capture the Millennium Falcon and Han Solo. Of course, Han Solo never made it to the rendezvous point.
Yeah, he got frozen, that guy.
So, when they failed to retrieve them, they, of course, decided that they were going to chase after Boba Fett because they owed a debt of gratitude towards the Rebels. So they switched sides again. And, of course, that didn't work out either. They did not get Han Solo back from Boba Fett, though they tried. And if you played Shadows of the Empire or read the book Shadows of the Empire, they have a little bit of a part in there. Two different things, so I don't want to get crazy on that.
It'll come up. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But it is kind of interesting. Let's pause here for a second and talk about the fact that, once again, we got a protocol droid who through a weird chain of events, reprograms himself. So to me, it's like, one of the fears of AI, like they're gonna, obtain self-knowledge and all of a sudden, make decisions on their own.
Right.
And this ammonia breathing bug guy,
Right.
who partner up with their own ship and play both sides of the fence depending on whatever their needs are, whether it's
Right.
the monetary needs or survival needs or what have you. So bug guy and robot guy flying around the galaxy doing all sorts of shenanigans. And what was their ship like? Because it was a modified ship, wasn't it?
So their ship was called the Mist Hunter. It was a modified Biblos Drive Yards G1A starfighter. Okay. Now I want you to think about that for a second as we move forward. This thing is classified as a starfighter. That was owned by Zuckuss before he met LOM. And the cockpit he usually filled with ammonia gas. This way he didn't have to wear his respirator while he was doing his stuff, flying the thing. And he actually had a lot of the ship programmed so that he could just talk to it and it would calculate navigations. It would, set up its own whatever it needs to do.
So his ship had Alexa?
Yes, literally. Yeah, essentially. His ship had Alexa. He was just like, Alexa, for all shields forward or whatever. Charge
now
up the
you're
guns.
really crossing the streams.
Yeah, right. Alexa, charge the cannons, whatever. But the interesting thing is he was actually thoughtful enough in this ship that the cargo area of the ship where the cells were for his bounties was actually oxygenated so that his
prey,
there you go, that's a good word for it, his cargo did not die or need rebreathers or something like that to survive in his ship.
But it's kind of nice if you think about it. He didn't have to go that route.
No, he didn't. He could, that could have been a good threat. So, go ahead. Let me just flip the switch here.
Yeah. Breathe some ammonia for a bit there, buddy.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to last in that, though. None of us are anyways.
Well, it's the opposite would be true, too. I mean, if Zuckuss lost his rebreather on an oxygen-rich planet, he'd be dead in minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He would have no chance.
I mean, what's that old saying? All fair in love and bounty hunting. Isn't that how it goes? Something like that.
I thought it was war and bounty hunting, but I guess that works too.
Yeah, either. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship Zuckuss and 4LOM had. Was it purely work, or was there,
I don't know.
I mean, Lando and L3 had a thing.
That's true.
Or L7, true. L7, not L3. L3 is it L3?
No, yeah, L337.
That's right. Yeah, because it's flipped.
You were both right.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Lando and L337 had their personal relationship as well, which is another amazing Star Wars story that I'd love to get into. But especially how it ends up she ends up as part of the Falcon. That's just, it's crazy. But let's not get off track too far. This show will be a lot longer if we just talked about whatever we wanted to talk about.
And it is kind of interesting that these characters, who, like we said, they were only on screen for 60 seconds or less than 60 seconds, actually.
Yeah.
Have been in all of these stories, and they invested the time in naming the planet and naming their starfighter, naming all of these things for these, from a movie perspective, these insignificant characters, but off screen in the comic books and the video games and the novels, these characters have a wide range of experiences.
Yeah. I mean, Zuckuss becomes, he's like a big deal in the Gand, like a real big deal. I mean, even before this point, like for generations, he's like a folk hero to the Gand. So, I mean, it's really kind of cool that like this character that see, like you said, like 60 seconds worth of time on screen in a movie from 45 years ago has this much story, and he could have been a throwaway character.
Yeah, and unfortunately, speaking of throwaway, when they, because one of the things that we love about Star Wars is even the insignificant characters became toys.
Yeah.
So when Zuckuss and 4LOM made it onto card backs, they mixed up their names. So the Empire Strikes Back toys that came out in 1982 had Zuckuss's name on the robot, and they had 4LOM on the toy, and that was for many years. Even when they released some toys, I think it might have even been for Return of the Jedi. They had another set of their toys, and their names were wrong there too.
And they weren't even in the movie.
Yeah, they weren't even. Yeah, exactly. They weren't even in that movie. In fact, let me see if I can. Where did I put it? I thought I had saved a couple images from the card backs. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find them.
No problem. While you're looking there, the one thing that I did want to tell you about the Mist Hunter that was pretty interesting is in the story where the ship was introduced, and of course that was from Tales of the Bounty Hunter. They used their ship. They got into the fight between the Imperials and the Rebels, and the Imperials actually shot down one of the Rebel transports, and I think it was the Bright Hope. I don't think I actually put it in my notes, but I think it was called the Bright Hope. And Zuckuss and 4LOM went to save the people of the transport. Now you remember the transport was a long shelled transport.
Almost looked like an elongated egg or something, right?
Yeah, basically. And they actually loaded up all 108 survivors from this disabled craft and jumped away to get away from the Imperial assault. Now, the discrepancy is, and like I said before, this thing's a starfighter. So when they came up with the visual dictionary pictures of it, and I wanted to grab that and I completely forgot. When they came up with the visual ship thing, the G1A ship, that it was modified from, is just slightly smaller than a Y-wing.
Oh,
and only had a transport capacity of 8 people. So either it was highly modified to be a lot longer and
like a stretch limo,
or these people were packed in so tight they were like sardines in a can. I mean,
well, were they full size people or were they like Jawa size people?
Well, they were rebels from Hoth, so I mean, we didn't see too many Jawas in Hoth. I mean, there could have been Jawas and Ewoks, and
maybe they were freeze dried. Maybe
that could be.
Yeah, they were frozen for transport.
That could be. They just smushed them together. Okay, stand there. All of you get in one carbonite chamber and see how many we can get in.
And I did find my pictures. So I want to put these up there for you to see. So we've got this one.
There's Zuckuss from Return of the Jedi.
And this was from Return of the Jedi. 4LOM from Return of the Jedi. So once again, you see that their names are wrong.
Yep.
And then their card backs. And this was one that somebody had obviously, as a kid, had in their collection because some of them were colored out. But when you look at the names, 23, which is this one right here where my cursor is floating over.
Yep.
It's
definitely 4LOM.
Yep, but that's not the name you get. And then 25,
Oh, there he is.
You know, with just one over. That's the Bespin Cloud Guard driver, Bespin Cloud Guard.
Right, right,
Oh yeah, he's the pilot, the car pilot. But yeah,
right.
so they got their names wrong in Return of the Jedi. And then I thought I had. Did I also have? Oh, this is the card back for Empire Strikes Back. So
And
the
somebody
first,
was nice enough to color in the ones that they had.
yeah, with their crayons. Yep, absolutely. So this time we got the TIE pilot in the first spot.
Right.
Zuckuss, not Zuckuss, but actually it's 40LM. But
Zuckuss, not Zuckuss, yeah.
yeah, so way back then they had them, you know, they had the names switched up. So the characters themselves weren't even important enough for Star Wars to get right.
Yeah. Or at least not important enough for Kenner to get right.
Yeah. And they mix it up in two different waves.
No, that was probably a spreadsheet. They said, here, these are the names of the characters. And it was wrong, and nobody ever fact checked it.
It was probably before they had Leland Chi or Pablo Hidalgo to help keep the storyline in order.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
And so we only saw them on screen for a little bit of time. And unlike IG-88, which was just from the waist up, the torso up that you saw, the rest there was no actual person in the costume for LOM and Zuckuss. They actually had actors in the costumes.
Okay.
Yeah, 4LOM was portrayed by an actor named Chris Parsons, who oddly enough played other protocol droids in Star Wars. He was K3PO, he was E3PO, he was R3PO, and he even doubled sometimes for C3PO.
Oh, very cool.
And then Zuckuss, the shorter insect character, was portrayed by Kathy Monroe. And Kathy Monroe, before Star Wars, had been in things like The Monster Club, Octopussy, The Great Muppet Caper, and Supergirl. And interestingly enough, both Chris Parsons and Kathy Monroe were in Ragtime, Ivanhoe, and The Shining. So they had done some acting work together.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
And as wild as their costumes are, they actually have CRLs in the 501st.
They do.
Yeah, both for Zuckuss and for LOM. In fact, let me I'll bring up 4 LOMs first.
Okay.
You know, so we can see this is for 4 LOM, and got a nice vision of that protocol droid torso.
Yeah.
And the insectoid head, and then it gives the specifics for each of the parts, right down to these tips that are on the ends of their tusks, you know, talking that they must be conical, and that the large eyes must have the appearance of green crackled texture to look like broken glass. And then I also have the one for Zuckuss. I'll bring that one up. You know, you've got these interesting three fingers, and it almost looks like a garbage bag if I had to describe the cape.
Yeah, it really does.
You know, and once again, really incredibly specific, even going so far as to saying that the mouth cover is in silver. You shouldn't be able to see the person's head through the seam in the mask. The tubing must be textured a certain way. And I'll make sure that I send the links to these CRLs to you. So if you want to, you can actually include them in the show notes. But it is, you know, once again, quite remarkable that these two characters, less than 60 seconds of screen time in the second Star Wars movie, have people wanting to make costumes and walk around conventions and stuff dressed up as them.
You know, the one thing that I was pretty impressed with is, like, on Zuckuss's specifically, for the level 2 certification, it says that the outer layers of the eyes are covered in bubble wrap, consistent with the reference images. That's pretty specific. And
yeah,
I don't know, like, obviously you don't see through the big eyes that are on the side of his head, but I couldn't imagine just having bubble wrap there and not wanting to pop it.
Yeah. And I wonder how they figured, like, did they look at, behind the scenes photos when they were making it and said, oh, we got to make sure that if you want to get, like you said, to that level 2, which is beyond the basics, here's what you need to do.
Idea. I have no idea how they figure out some of this stuff. But, I mean, there's people that go frame by frame on trailers and stuff like that nowadays. I could imagine that they did it cell by cell back then, but it was probably a lot harder to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They didn't have the internet where they could just keep it on a loop and pause it every 3 seconds so they can see something that's going on. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I am definitely, for as much interest that I have in some of this stuff, I will enjoy the fact that somebody else will rip it apart and try to find the little things.
Yeah. But and they'll go to the lengths of putting it together in a CRL. So should you want to be, dressed as 4LOM or Zuckuss, we've got the resources. We live in this wonderful age where we don't have to make it up on our own, but we can get help from people who've either worked on it or have worked on their own and are willing to share the information.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I could be put in the droid suit, but I gotta say, probably being in the Zuckuss suit was probably fairly comfortable. There's just a lot of outside layers and not a lot of inside layers,
Well, I mean, they don't look like light layers. They look like...
They do not.
So it doesn't seem like a drafty costume. It seems like it would be really, 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 really warm.
It would be warm, I'm sure. But, I mean, you can kind of dress down underneath is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just a pair of shorts and maybe a tank top or something. Whatever. Right?
Star Wars underoos.
Yeah. So, yeah, just don't let have anybody lift your skirt on that.
Exactly. Nobody pants Zuckuss. That's the rule. There's
right.
no pantsing of Zuckuss.
Yeah, I mean, with just the cloak and stuff like that, I don't know if pants are required. So
yeah, because I don't remember seeing anything about footwear. Like, is he wearing Birkenstocks under that?
There is. Hold on, I mean, I still have it up here because I actually remembered to pull it up myself. There's the coat, the chest panel, the gloves, the shoes. The shoes. It says they must not be visible while you're standing. And it has to be a brown fabric slip-on shoe with no heel, and that's it.
If it's not visible while you like, how are they going to know if it has a heel or not? It's not visible.
I don't know.
And is that part of the application process for a Zuckuss? You got to lift up your cape to show your non-heeled brown
to show
shoe?
your shoes. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a 501st uniform yet, so I haven't been through that process yet. But
Zuckuss could be your first.
I don't know about all that.
That mask looks like it would be pretty warm too, because it encloses your whole head.
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm not really a mask person, so the helmet I can get away with. I can enjoy wearing the helmet. I know that it's open underneath, like those full masks. That's too much for me. I just, for as much as I would like to have like a Rhodian helmet, a Rhodian mask or something like that, I don't know that I could actually wear it. I think it would just be a collector's item hanging on the wall or something. Put it on a mannequin.
Yeah, I think maybe on a mannequin, because then it would be a little less creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, would you have like Abraham Lincoln's head on your wall?
No.
Yeah, so Greedo's head's up there, like that would be weird.
I'm gonna say it's probably more likely I have Greedo's head on my wall than Abraham Lincoln.
Fair
I mean, I got Darth Vader and a stormtrooper already, plus a couple other helmets laying around.
Well, you've got their helmets, but you don't actually have like the.
That's true. I don't have a head.
Yeah. But if it was Greedo,
No.
it would be a head.
It would literally. Yeah, that's true.
You know.
But would it be the same for Zuckuss? Because I mean, it's just a breather. So the rest of it is his head.
Yeah, the rest is his head. Yes. Yeah, it would be a big bug head. You'd have a giant insect head on your wall.
Maybe I'll go for 4 LOM's head. That would be better.
Yeah.
That would be a lot better.
Well, and you could. It would. It would be similar to this.
Right.
It'd be the equivalent of it, just a robot.
But you're right. But it's certainly a lot less creepy than just having a head.
Yes. Whether it's Abraham Lincoln or Zuckuss.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm thinking Abraham Lincoln, I'd have to make it like a zombie or something like that. At least make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. He wasn't he a vampire hunter? Abraham Lincoln?
He was a vampire hunter. Yeah, at one point, yeah, he was. That's true. And didn't his statue become a robot? Or no, it came to life. Was it in Night of the Museum?
Yeah. Yeah, in the Smithsonian one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he got up and took a walk.
I mean, I guess you got to stretch those legs sometime.
I'm sure. It's got to be hard sitting there all the time. There's some cramping going on, especially for how old he is.
That's for sure. Well, so, how do you want to wrap up this dynamic duo? Anything you want to say last about Zuckuss and or 4 LOM?
Well, I mean, the only thing I really didn't touch on was, I did mention that Zuckuss he became a legend to the Gand people. He inspired generations of findsmen. The unfortunate part for him is he actually ended up, after the loss of 4 LOM, which I didn't actually talk about. I should probably jump back. 4 LOM got so critically injured that the only way to save him was to do a memory wipe on him. And of course, 4 LOM was never the same. And eventually they parted ways. And then over time, Zuckuss did some work with the New Republic. But he actually succumbed to schizophrenia and was kept in the New Republic under the care of psychiatrists. So he didn't really have that great of an ending to his career.
I don't think I ever read that. Like, where?
Yeah.
Is there like a psychiatric planet or something? Or where was
he was actually held on Coruscant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So could we see him in 4 LOM in Mando?
I guess you probably could, yeah. Theoretically.
Huh.
Because I don't really know when 4 LOM was critically injured. I was trying to look for a specific time or date or adventure or something like that, and I couldn't come up with one.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a story somewhere. I just couldn't find the reference material to point it out. But yeah, after he lost 4 LOM, Zuckuss was never the same, and they kind of just went their own separate ways. So I know 4 LOM is probably out there somewhere. But he's not the same 4 LOM that was on the Star Destroyer in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, imagine like Bert without Ernie.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's, Abbott without Costello. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't seem right.
Right? Like Todd without Ken. I mean,
what do you got then?
So no, that's about it. I just wanted to throw that in there because I mean it's a good thing to understand like how these people how these characters evolved. I mean, like not all of them rode off into the sunset, into the starfield, whatever, and had happy days afterwards. I mean, poor Zuckuss, he kind of lost his mind a little bit. So
yeah, and no, yeah, he lost his mind and his friend.
Yeah, he lost his friend and then lost his mind.
Yeah, what a
maybe he created a new friend, and
maybe he became his own friend.
Yeah,
that would be personal identity disorder. That would be different.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so it's a fantastic example, I think, of how there is so much possible creativity that's available from these characters that showed up, for a couple moments. Even going back to A New Hope, and even Greedo did buy the farm when Han shot him in the cantina. However, he had a whole bunch of stories before that, and all these other little
Right.
characters that had moments of screen time really lived some adventures in the books, in the comics, because the makers of Star Wars, whether it's the authors or the drawers or the other storytellers, appreciate this galaxy and want to populate it with interesting creatures and interesting stories for all of us to enjoy many years later.
And the one thing that I should add is, if you are really interested in some of these characters, there is a couple stories from Legends. Now, they are older books, but you can still find them. And there's Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina, there's Tales from Jabba's Palace, and there's just Tales of the Bounty Hunter. And some of those stories of these bounty hunters are in all three of those books. They're all like short stories, almost like the
anthology stories, like
right, like
from a certain
different point of view. Yeah. So
Yeah.
same kind of thing as that. So if you are interested and want to know more about these characters, pick up a book. I don't know if the audiobook's available, but I mean,
well, many of them are, even the Legends ones are being made audio versions. Some of them are even being remade. They're being updated because the original versions of the audiobooks was just someone or a couple people reading them.
yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've picked up and listened to any audiobooks lately, they're like radio dramas. They've got music involved. They've got sound effects, and even the narrator will use their own voice in different ways to portray different characters. And we shouldn't fail to mention that the Bounty Hunters arc of Marvel Comics has some 4-LOM and Zuckuss stuff in there. I mean, I just found this last Saturday, over at Books A Million. So they're still putting they're putting things out recently for these characters, this dynamic duo of bounty hunting.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm always one of those people, I like to know more. If I find a character that I like, then I need to go deeper. And sometimes it's not time conducive to do so, but I do it anyways, And
Well, keep you off the streets.
Sometimes it takes me weeks to finish my thought and get it all done. But like, if I find somebody that I really am interested in, I just attach to them, and then until I know everything there is to know. So,
well, in our case, it's a benefit to the show because we've got lots of other bounty hunters that we can talk about, whether it's Cad Bane or whether it's Fennec Shand or any of these. We could do an entire episode on the guild structure or the different crime syndicates.
Yeah.
Like Crimson Dawn
and Tag or Tagco was
Black Sun.
Yeah.
So the Pike Syndicate.
The Pikes. Yeah. There's plenty of room to grow here. There's plenty of subjects to delve into.
Yeah, so lots of things for us to hunt across the galaxy. So actually, that brings up a very interesting point. When you're not bounty hunting with me, where else can folks find you out there on the internet?
Oh, well, I mean, I do Table Ready Painting, which is a Warhammer 40K based podcast, YouTube channel. I should stop calling it a podcast because it's really just a YouTube channel now. I still put it onto Spotify, Apple Podcast, stuff like that, but it's more visual now than it was when I started it. But you can find me there, and we are working on doing episodes every other week. This month has been hectic, so stuff got switched around, but generally speaking, every other week. And then on the off week, I'm doing lives on Thursday nights to painting, talking about lore, whatever happens to come up, just to kind of get up there and hang out with anybody that wants to come up and talk. And then I'm also on Lake Clan Legends, where we play Dungeons and Dragons, and we're kind of reaching out, and the boys wanted to do some Warhammer 40k, so we're going to do some Crusade armies. But I think we started to talk about it, and I think we're stepping back a little bit and just going to go back to D&D. It was one of those things where we thought this was going to be a great idea, and then coordination and band camp and
life.
This summer was busier than any other summer that we've experienced before on their side. So it's we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
And sometimes some other games. Let's put it that way.
I'm still waiting to see the episode where the three of you play a couple rounds of Uno.
Oh, we could do that. I'm going to tell you, Mike's a shark, though.
Really?
Oh, Mike's he's tough when he plays Uno. He is tough. He will find certain ways just to make sure to screw whoever's after him over.
Well, you'll have to make sure that if you do that you announce do you play by the box rules or the home rules?
I guess probably the box rules for the most part.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
Because I know that sometimes you don't find out what rules people are really playing by until you play with them, and like, I'm going to do this reverse and draw 4 and then a skip 2. And
oh yeah, he'll do all those as much as he can.
That's funny.
So we don't play 2-player Uno in my house. Certainly not with Mike, because that boy's rough. So. And we got Uno, and we got Uno Flip now too. So,
oh, I've never played that.
Oh, that's an experience. If you like Uno, there's literally you have the Uno regular deck of Uno cards. The was it red, green, blue, yellow, and then there's cards in there, and there's flip cards. So when you get a flip card, you take the deck and flip it over, and then there's purple, orange, magenta, and something else. There's 4, and like a teal color. And then there's a whole different set of cards. Like there's not just a skip 2 or a draw 2 or something like that. There's different results for the special cards.
That's wild.
And different colors. And so you just keep flipping your deck over back and forth whenever somebody plays a flip card. Oh, it's brutal. But it's fun. It's fun because it's like it gives a whole nother aspect of it.
That's
so you
awesome.
could be down to your last card and somebody flips and you're like, flip it over. All you got is a teal reverse or something like that. And you're like, oh. And then of course you're back to pulling cards out of the deck and stuff like that. So
oh, too funny.
Yeah. It's definitely an amazing game. If you like Uno, you got to try it one time.
Nice.
Well, I'll have to see if I can get them to play Uno on one of our game sessions.
Even if it's just a warm up, we're gonna get in. We're gonna do some card battles tonight.
Yep. So where are you when you're not hanging out with me?
Well, I'm not hanging out with you. Sometimes I'm on the Bantha Milk podcast, sitting around the Dejeric table answering questions every Wednesday night, or almost every Wednesday night. I'm hanging out with Mike Hinton on the Inflatable Falcon. We go live on YouTube around 8:30, 8:45. And then if I ever get my rearing gear, I'll actually be posting episodes for the Rambling Star Wars Fan. And the next one that I have in the queue, as goofy as it sounds, that's about Andor.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and this episode about Andor is going to be talking about how unnecessary Season 2 was.
What?
You'll have to listen.
I'm going to be listening to that.
Andor Season 2 was totally unnecessary. They didn't need to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to that. as of right now, I'm disagreeing with you, but
Oh no, you'll agree with me.
I'm sure I will.
When you listen to the episode, you'll agree with me. I'll bet you an Uno deck.
Oh boy. Okay.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me for this episode.
Wait, are you telling me that Andor is the Bilbo Baggins of the Star Wars universe?
No, I'm not saying that. No,
Okay.
no, I wouldn't say that.
All right. I had to get that in there real quick.
Well, in that case, you shall not pass. No, that was a different guy.
That's a different guy. But back to the Uno reference, right?
Yeah. Yes. So we're gonna do a reverse. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you draw two and I reverse it. Well, thanks everyone for listening to another episode of Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy. And as some bounty hunters say, this is the way.
This is the way.